Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Dr. Glenn Bowe, and I have Dr. Nate Jeal, founder of Dental Authority Marketing. Nate, what's up, man?
Oh, end of a long day, but I'm doing great. How you today?
Man, so here's the thing, guys. I met Nate for the first time at the Dental Maverick Summit, and we started talking. We hit it off. The guy is a savvy businessman. He's a great marketer, and he's a good guy. And it's like, man, I was telling Nate, I was like, dude, I wish I met you earlier, man, because I got so much from our conversation there. But you know what? Before I even jump in and talk about this, I want to just throw out like a curveball at you, Nate. I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. Dude, what do you think about all this BS going on in Facebook dental groups?
Hmm. You know what? I got to say, I don't put a lot into this kind of stuff, and I'm a busy guy. I'm a family man. I got 4 kids. I got a business partner. I got multiple dental practices. I got clients I serve first, and I don't have time for negativity. So, um, I have good friends, and that'll remain the way it always will be. But in terms of negativity, I don't have time for negativity, and I try to keep myself well clear of anything like that.
I
So
love that, man. I
that's
love
how I
that
put it.
question because, Nate, you and I, man, we just hit it off and we're talking and you're like, dude, I'm so busy trying to grow my businesses and helping other people grow their businesses. And I love that answer. That's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right, man? And
Mm-hmm.
speaking of businesses, I've been following you, man, for a while, but there's a bunch of people who are jumping on. And guys, if you are jumping on, you excited to see Nate here, type in the comments section authority. Because right now, Nate looks like an authority. Look at him. Look at me. I look like a bum wearing this Nifty Thrifty shirt. He's like decked out here. But Nate, let's go back to what you just said there.
Yeah.
You have multiple businesses, multiple practices. Let's start with who is Dr. Nate Jeal? What is your what is your practice life like? How many practices you have? And then we'll go through there and lead up to how did you get involved in the crazy world of marketing?
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good to me. Well, I'll keep it brief because what I really want to talk about is what we can do for other people here.
Yeah.
But in terms of my own story, I'll give you the bird's eye view. I'm a dentist, of course. My wife is also a dentist, and so we got together straight out of dental school, and we promptly bought a practice, and then a couple more, and then a couple more, and learned really quick that not everything is quite as easy as you might like it to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is kind of like pressing fast forward on the learn it right now button, right? Just hitting that fast forward button, and we're forced to learn a whole bunch of things. And so at the present time, I am. I remain a dentist. I'd say probably more part time than full time, but it's still my identity and it's who I am. And I'm on practice number 6 right now. So we just opened up practice number 6 in April of this year. So we are May, June, July, August, say 4.5 months in. Mid-April opened up, and really kicked that off in just the way that we wanted to. This was my first startup practice. The others have been acquisitions of already existing practices. So it was a new venture, something really fun. And yeah, so I've been around the block a couple of times. I know a thing or two about what it takes to run a practice. But I've bought practices and I've sold them, and I've opened them from the ground up. So in a minute, that's me.
Yeah. And so, then, of course, Nate, I mean, I talked to you and you're really big about kind of growing yourself, right? You've done coaching programs that we've both been a part of. Like you were in strategic coach. I was in strategic coach. Then you work with all these other coaches. You're the type of person that wants to get better all the time. And you're a smart guy. So I'm going to ask you this. Why'd you get into marketing, man? You're a smart guy, man. I mean, because, marketing is like, gosh, whenever I bring that up, dentists, you get 2 reactions. Some are like, oh, yeah. They're pumped about it. And some people are like, oh, my gosh, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. I hate marketing. Mm-hmm. What made you want to get into marketing?
Well, you know what? The only word that is dirtier than marketing, I think, in dentistry is actually sales. And so these are 2 words that I tackle in some of the courses that we teach and so on. So yeah, they're big topics, and I tackled it out of necessity. So my purpose in being in the business of dentistry is to increase the size and scope of my business at all times. And dentistry is complex because we have so many things to juggle, not just the quality of care, but also the customer service elements, there's, payroll and HR and any number of things. Marketing is one piece of the puzzle, though, and it's one kind of the way that things shook out with my partner, my wife and I. We're business partners as well as life partners, and it just kind of shook out that way. My natural inclination was to learn and study, and so you talked about coaching, and that's a big part of my reason for becoming involved with Strategic Coach and some other mentors that I've had, is to maximize my ability to perform on the job. And for me, that involved expanding and growing my own business, and we've done that. One particular vehicle that we've used is through external marketing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you know what the thing is that you're positioned yourself in a unique position where you have done marketing not only for a startup, like your first practice, but also acquisitions as well, taking over an existing practice.
That's
and
right.
Let me ask you this, because there's a bunch of people jumping on. And guys, if you have any questions, I mean, I got not only a marketing whiz, but also someone who knows how to grow practices. I mean, ask any question you want, drop it in the comments right there. But Nate, I want to ask you this, as someone who's done both, is marketing different for both? If you have a startup, if you did a startup, or if you did an acquisition, is it different?
Yeah, it's very different, actually, and I can speak in great detail on that. It may be impossible to do in a short call like this, but as I said, in April of this year, we did a brand new startup and hit what I would say would be quite enviable numbers in a very, very short period of time. And we did that with a very coordinated approach to our marketing efforts. And so, yes, it's distinctly different, right? In a new practice, really what you need people in the office.
Mm-hmm.
But much of the other marketing I do in my other practices is not so much geared toward growing a hygiene program as it is freeing me up from being part of the hygiene program and doing some of the bread and butter stuff that I don't as much enjoy, and allowing me to work with a higher quality patient, offering higher quality procedures, things that I find professional gratification from, but also things that are more meaningful to the patients as well. And so, yeah, they're distinctly different things. An existing practice with a large base and a steady source of revenue, then the way that we grow them is actually through niche specialty procedures and positioning as an authority. In a brand new practice, it's not quite the same, though.
Yeah, you're just looking for warm bodies.
You're looking for warm bodies, exactly. Now, can you do them both at the same time? Yeah, I think you can, and we have. But there's a lot of times where I talk to dentists. In fact, every week I'm talking to dentists, and sometimes they're asking questions about how can perhaps we help them with marketing their startup. And usually, what I tell them is we got to have a plan in place first. And it's surprising how many people, I'm sorry to say, but there's a lot of people who don't really have much of a plan.
Dude, that's dentists, man.
Well, it is dentists, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of to our collective detriment, I would say, actually, because you got to have a plan for this stuff. You got bills to pay and mouths to feed, and if there's not a plan to bring people in and get those things paid, and then get yourself paid, I think probably falling short. It's going to be a tough time.
And I want to hit on something you said, because I remember when we were at the summit, we talked about a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to bring back a lot of things that we talked about. And the one thing you told me about what you guys do is that niche marketing for those niche procedures. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, that's a great idea, because, think about it. Like, for example, for my practice is it's 10-year-old practice. We have a health. It makes total sense, because when a marketing company comes in, they say, all right, hey, I got this, I got package A, B, and C, platinum, gold, and silver, right?
Right.
And it's like they want to give you a bunch of patients, but it's like it's not the patients you want. And I think that's so important that you guys. And so talk about that, like how obviously we don't have much time here, but I want to. How do you kind of like get them down that like funnel, you know what I'm saying? Like, get them through that little funnel, and it ends up to your practice, like that implant patient or that sleep apnea patient or that cosmetic patient.
Right. Yeah. Well, one thing that we've become really, really good at is crafting the right message for the market. And so the dental field is rife with examples of, $69 offers and what in this type of thing. And that's very distinctly what we're not doing, right? So I think you kind of take a look at what is everybody doing that doesn't work too good, and don't do that, and instead focus on something else. So what we've identified is funnel's a bit of a buzzword these days, but it's an old world, an old word in the marketing world. And our funnel really is a way of taking a very, very broad audience and narrowing it down to the people who already know what they want, who are financially and mentally, psychologically prepared to take action now. And those are the people who we spend our time and effort on serving most.
I love that. I love that. And another thing that I want to add on to that is that when we were talking down in Austin, you were saying, like people will go to your website, right? And when we, this is a whole nother Facebook Live, guys, and we talk about websites. But I want to hit on it very, very quickly because Nate has a very interesting perspective on it. And that is, okay, we have a website, right? The point of the website is we want them to go do the stuff that we want to do more of, right? Like, okay, if Nate goes to my site, I'm hoping Nate wants to do some cosmetics or whatever, right? But our website's just kind of like, it's kind of everywhere, It's like, hey, look at me and picture me and my family. Look at my staff, and then I have all these procedures. You got to click on all those things, and it's like so confusing. And then people are like, okay, well, where's the number and all that? So Nate, I want to talk about that. Like what you were saying, add on to that, like, how are we making people more confused, and how is your approach trying to clear through the mess and giving them what they want?
Yeah, well, you know what? This is a really, really critical point here, Glenn, is that confused people are not buyers, right? And I mean, it's an easy to say little phrase, but it packs a lot of weight. Confused people don't buy anything, right? And what a lot of times dentists are doing is they're confusing people. And there's this whole concept of patient education, which is a terribly misunderstood one, I think. And then there's the whole idea of websites that have all kind of options and are listing every service that they possibly have. But the way that we look at sales and marketing as part of the sales process, which it is, right? It's at the top of the process, or the top of the list. But kind of a step one in the process is we're looking at sales and marketing and coming up with ways so that people can identify for themselves what it is that they want, right? They got to identify what they're suffering from before they got to take ownership of their condition before they can ever be open to accepting a dentist solution, right? And there's, so many times we see, I talk to dentists all over the place, and they're kind of swinging for a grand slam at every pitch, getting frustrated when they're not hitting the grand slam. But it's because they're jumping right to the money and jumping right to the solution, not really making their patient know that they were understood. And
listening to the patient.
Right. Yeah. It's a very simple concept, but it's amazing how many times it doesn't happen.
Well, wait. So you're telling me you come in, all right, Mrs. Jones, you need a implant on number 3, and and implant over here in 29, and also you're going to need an occlusal. Yeah. So people coming in doing that talk. That's not going to work.
I'm going to say that's not going to work too good. Yeah, you're probably going to swing more than you hit, I think.
Right. I love it. I love the fact that really, I mean, you want to listen to the patient, obviously, and then kind of work them through that. And I love how you guys do it just online and kind of prep it. I love how you guys prep the patient before they get into the practice. That's almost, if you think about it, most of us are like, okay, we get the patient in and then we work our little magic, right? But the way you guys want to do it is like you want to kind of work the magic and get it in their heads before they get to the practice. And why is that so important?
Well, here's the thing. For me, it became important because I made a decision to eliminate from my life and from my practice life in particular everything that I didn't find fascinating or enjoyable. And so I kind of took a scalpel to things and really cut out the elements in practice that I just couldn't tolerate anymore, that I didn't want to do. And so for me, that meant taking away some of the general dentistry. You said you don't want any more.
Oh, wait, so you don't do any more class 2s?
No, I don't. Yeah.
Darn it, man. I want to be you, man.
I really don't. And what I do focus my time on, though, is working with people who are coming with a real problem, who are really solution oriented. And that's how I describe what I am as a dentist. Is I'm a very solution-oriented dentist, and I really have made concerted effort to limit my time to working with people who have real problems to solve. And that's kind of the name of the game. So for me, it was taking a risk. What I did was I wanted to transform the way I practiced. I have associates as well, so I got to feed them. Yeah. And so they're handling a lot of the general dentistry, and I had to position myself so that I wasn't going to go broke with no work to do. And that's where this marketing comes from. So I got to have people come to see me too. And the people I want to see are the ones who are going to show up, who have a bleeding neck type of problem, someone who's highly motivated to take action now, And we have a great process in place where we help them to articulate what it is that they're suffering from, right? To own that for themselves. And actually, in most cases, what my patients do is they select their own decision,
Wow.
their own treatment option. They're selecting their own solution, I should say. And so it actually becomes a fairly easy process to, kind of enroll people in our philosophy of care as we're walking them through that.
And so, by the time they get to you, Nate, they already kind of know what they want.
Yes.
That makes treatment plan presentation so much easier.
It makes it a lot more enjoyable. Yeah, right. And there's no, I said at the, kind of the top of the show that there's kind of two dirty words, right? One is marketing, and the other is sales.
Sales, yeah.
And a lot of dentists are very reluctant salespeople, but I think when we can embrace the word for what it really is, and what it really means is enrolling people in your philosophy of care, helping them understand what's possible, right? That their goals can be achieved. To me, that's a bit of a game changer, and I think it would be for a lot of other people too, if we can really embrace that role.
I love it. I love it. Guys, if you like what you're hearing right now, type in the comments section authority here. And it's like just a whole mindset shift, right? I know mindset's like one of those words that people like keep dropping nowadays, but literally, it's a lot of times it's just really kind of shifting it just a little bit, right? And this idea of, look, if you have a healthy practice and you're marketing and you're just throwing your money out there because, okay, I got to do X percentage of my budget to marketing, right? But you're just throwing money out there. You're going to get a pull. It's like when you're fishing and you're throwing out a big net and you just pull back anything, but really you just want, like, I don't know, salmon or something, or you want something specific. What Nate's talking about is going for that really specific type of patient there. So Nate, I'm going to kind of ask you this question is,
Sure.
What are your procedures that you like to do in your practice so that the audience can kind of get an idea of like, okay, this is what he's going for, and that's what he's talking about as for a particular patient. So what's the patient that you want to see these patients all the time? What's that for you?
I do a lot of Invisalign. I do quite a bit of implants. So
okay, I'm going to make you brag a little bit. Aren't you one of like the top Invisalign guys in Canada?
Oh, I don't know about that. I would say I do more Invisalign than a lot of orthodontists in my city, though.
Yeah.
So
I heard a rumor that Nate is one of the top guys up there. So I'm just he's not going to brag, but I'm just going to say that.
You didn't hear it from me, but my own practice would be I have a short work week, but I'll do 100 Invisalign cases, 100 implants, and that's what I do on about a 2-day work week.
Wow. So if someone who's watching right now, they're like, I want to do more Invisalign. Could you help them?
I think we could help them, yeah. But you know what? There's not a silver bullet, and so I would never want to come across as saying that there's one single thing that you can do that is going to it's going to transform your practice, because there's not. There's a whole bunch of things that you got to do, and marketing is it's a bit of a loaded term because all marketing is not the same, and marketing is only one step in the entire sales process, right? And
right.
So marketing in the absence of the other elements of customer service, or in the absence of having a really well thought out and well practiced in-office process for helping people understand, marketing alone is not going to do anything. And so I talk to people on all ends, both ends of the spectrum, some who do really, really well with it and some who forever struggle. But it's certainly not a silver bullet.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because not everyone is lucky enough like me to have a couple of drinks with Nate and get all these pearls that he spills out like he's doing it right now here. And so we were talking about, I was like, dude, this is like really good stuff, because people think, okay, I'm doing marketing, I get a bunch of leads and I should be making a lot of money, right? And we were talking, you're like, dude, it's like the whole process. Like you can get the butt in the chair, but then it's like, it's up to you to do the conversion, right? And so many times, like, people are like, okay, I got this company and they sent me a bunch of, I didn't get anything good out of it. And a lot of times it's not really the marketing company. It's really like your process. So let's talk about why that's important when the patient, okay, you got them in and everything, and kind of briefly talk about that, and then we'll lead into.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let me say this. When a patient is coming to see you, especially the type of patient who is generated with really quality marketing, someone who is pre-qualified, at least in the sense that they have a real problem that they need a solution for. When that person comes to see you, they're not coming for mere entertainment. And so that's kind of mistake number one, that a lot of dentists make is they think that someone who showed up at their office on time and sat in their chair and had some photos taken and stayed for a while and met you and the team, they didn't come for their own entertainment at all. They came for a reason. And it's easy to laugh, but I encounter a lot of people who are dismissive, when they think someone maybe doesn't have that, $20,000 or $30,000 today. Well, of course they don't. They just met you, right? And
Yeah.
so there's a whole relationship building experience that that just has to happen, right? You can't skip it and you can't pass over it. Or someone who drives from far away. I'll get often people who come from 4, 5, 6 hours away,
Wow.
past hundreds of other dentists. And I can assure you, I'm really not that good. But what we do have is a really, really well thought out process for helping people to become enrolled in the philosophy of care, the optimal care philosophy that we have in our office here. And that's really what sets it apart. So if someone's taking their time to come in, I don't take it lightly. I take it as a great compliment. And I think that we all should, rather than brushing someone off because of maybe the way they look or, how much cash they got in their pocket today. I can't tell you how many people come back in 3 or 4 months who you thought they didn't have, 2 nickels, but they're back in 6 months and they borrowed from family, they got financed and they got a new job, they got their divorce settlement, whatever it was. They got their inheritance. People come back, and I know a whole lot of dentists who take the same approach and do really, really well with it, and some who don't really adopt that and never quite make of their marketing what could be made.
So, I really love what you're saying, guys. If you like what you're hearing, type in the comment section authority here. And then, Nate, we were talking about this. I'm like, man, this is really good stuff. I want to learn more about this. And you're like, dude, you got some time to come to Vegas? I'm like, man, I always got time to go to Vegas. And then I checked my schedule. I was like, okay, this is going to cost me a lot of money. Not the trip, not the hotel, not the hanging out with Nate and buying him all the drinks for all the stuff he's going to teach me. It's I got to bring something back for my wife. So I'm still navigating that. But talk about this event that's coming up in Las Vegas and talk about, the sales process you talked about just now. That's what you guys are going to go over, right?
We're going to go really deep on that stuff. I think it'll be enough. We'll go deep enough that somebody will go home with a headache, I think, because
headache from the course, not afterwards, right?
Maybe a bit of both. We'll have a good time there for sure. No, but we're going to go really deep into these topics. And so this is the course is called The New Rules of Dental Marketing and Sales, because these things really go hand in hand together. And so we have a full day course where we go deep into our own playbook, pulling out examples from our own practices. For me and my co-presenter, Tim Rao, we're bringing everything there, right? So anyone who attends, they can go home with literally a complete playbook. There's nothing hidden. You don't have to buy it other than attending. You don't have to buy anything. It's all there to go. You get a notebook to take home. We'll have plenty of one-on-one time for questions. We'll even do some role playing and some practice on things. We're going to walk through some of the formulas that we have to be able to craft a message, and what are the pieces and individual elements, whether software and otherwise, that have to be put in place to be able to do this kind of thing for yourself. Now, make no mistake, it's fairly complex and it is sophisticated what we're doing, but it's not that other people can't do it, right? And so what we're really doing is kind of pulling away the curtains, showing our whole hand and saying, this is how we do this. This is how we've been able to achieve fairly remarkable growth in a short period of time. And these are all the pieces. This is what you can do. And so that's really what the course is. It's called The New Rules of Dental Marketing. We wrote a book by the same name, and it's just kind of
wait. You guys have a book on this?
Yeah, we have a book.
Wait, where can I get that book?
This book is by direct FedEx to your house only. That's how we do it.
So, are you guys gonna have books at the event?
Yeah, man, we'll have books at the event.
Awesome. Wait, and you know what? We got a comment from the audience, and is good stuff. I've been to a dental authority marketing course, and it had awesome info. So that's a happy doctor right there. So yes, keep the comments, keep the questions coming here. And of course, Robert Pick's like, yo, that's Robert Pick right there. So first of all, that book. Let's go back to that book, because you caught my attention. You see, I got a bunch of books. I love
you do, yeah.
Collecting books there. So first of all, if someone wants to get the book, is it on the website, or how can they get one?
Yeah, they can. They'd request a book from me directly, or better yet, come to the course and we'll inscribe one for you. That'd be the way to do it. So we're gonna have books at the course. It's a short book. It's an easy read. I like easy reads, something that if you come, you can read it, front to back on the plane home without any trouble at all. But what it provides is an overview of the type of thing that we do. Of course, in a full day-long course, I mean, we're talking 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the
Oh,
evening.
wow.
We'll break
Now, is
it
it
down.
1-day course?
This is a 1-day course,
Okay.
yeah. So it's kind of thing where you want to bring a notepad and pen, because there'll be a lot of note taking, a lot of practice, a lot of really kind of insider insights that are really, to my knowledge, not available anywhere else. I mean, you'd have to go and pay the coaches that I've paid and take some of the mentorship programs that I've been involved in to be able to get the same thing. So what we're doing was taking 6 or 7 years of hard work and an awful lot of money invested, sometimes in the wrong things and other times in the right, and
And
boiling
that's
it
me,
down.
man. I've been there.
Yeah, exactly, right. So I think we've all been there one time or the other, but we're boiling that down to one, easy to understand, easy to implement if you're a little bit tech savvy. You can put all this stuff together, or you can meet other people who might be happy to help with it too.
Well, I will say this. I know who Nate's coaches are, and trust me, they are not cheap, man. They are not cheap. They're like the legit people here. And you know what? We got someone here, Dr. Levi. What's the Nifty Thrifty deal already? Hold up, buddy. I'm looking at the time. I know you timed this perfectly. At the 40-minute mark, you're gonna slide in here the Nifty Thrifty deal. But you know what? We had some technical difficulties. You gotta wait. But you know what? We'll announce something. Keep the questions coming. And we got, of course, Linda Miles says hi to you, Nate. Linda Miles. Okay, so, all right, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the course here, the one thing that I think you left out, and I was shocked when you told me this. And I told you, we're at the Dental Maverick Summit. I was like, dude, your event's going to be like this? There was like a ton of people at Dental Maverick. And you're like, no, man, I actually want to spend a lot of time with each attendee. So we're actually limiting the amount of attendees. So Tim and I can really work with them. So actually, how many seats are going to be that you're keeping it small? So how many seats are going to be available?
We keep it under 30, and it's
wow.
It's for exactly that reason. So I mean, basically, it's going to be small enough that we can sit around one large dinner table at night, and that's how we want to keep it. It's a real collegial environment, a very safe environment. There's no wrong question, right? There's only good answers, and so that's the approach that we want to take. We want to keep it really, really. It's a very boutique feel, and that's been our approach to business. That's my own approach currently to my dental business as well. It's very, very boutique, and so we're looking at quality over volume, and it's a relationship building opportunity where we're just for people who want to be there for special doctors, for select doctors who make this move. There's nothing held back, man. It's the deck is on full display.
So ask Nate anything: marketing, practice management, everything.
That's right. Yeah, that's the kind of event it's going to be. So this will be actually the third consecutive, and we've got 2 more coming up early in February, and then in June of 2020.
But those are going to be in Vegas, though.
Those are going to be in Vegas.
Oh, they're going to be. So that's the thing. Nate, you have very good taste in places to do events. So I have to commend you on that. Actually, where is it in Vegas?
It'll be at the Palazzo. So nice hotel.
It is a nice hotel.
It's a 5-star resort. They're going to be great.
It's got a nice gym too, man.
Yeah, it's got a great pool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun to be had. So there's no doubt about that. But it's going to be an action-packed day. To be info-packed. And I think.
Now, this is you and Tim teaching, or is there anyone else teaching? Is it just you two guys?
This is me and Tim. Yeah, this is me and Tim. And on that note, I attended Maverick, and I thought it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot of the speakers. I thought it was a great event. And I would go again without hesitation. The event that we're holding is just a much more intimate thing, very small. It's intentionally small because what we really, really want is to be able to interact with people on a one-on-one and get really kind of nitty-gritty, granular on things, and really help some people out.
I love it. So now let's kind of shift real quick. And I know people are like waiting for the Nifty deal, but I'm making them wait. Okay, guys. All right. Keep the questions coming. Stop asking me. I see all these messages. What's the Nifty deal? You're going to have to wait here. But let me come shift. So the event, that's going to be awesome. The date for that event is what is the date?
This is Friday, October 4. So it's coming up in
about a month.
A little over a month. I think it's 38 days, 37 days.
What's so good about that is you go and you learn. And if you bring a significant other, right? Like, so if my wife came, go shopping with Nate's wife. Please don't hurt me too much.
Mm-hmm.
We do the event, we have dinner, and then the rest of the weekend you can hang out with your significant other.
That's right. Yeah. No, it's a great way to. I mean, dentists don't work Friday, do they?
I mean, I don't work
I don't know.
Friday, and if you're working Friday, maybe you need to talk to Nate here.
I think if you're working Friday, you probably need to come on the 4th. Take that one Friday off, and come spend some time with us. It's going to be good, though. No, my wife will be there too. So, can I talk a little bit about what we have going
Yeah,
on? What I'd like to offer?
sure.
So we have the full day course on a regular price is $14.97.
Wait, hold up. All right. I mean, you know what? See, this is the thing I love about Nate. He's always prepared. He did his research. I didn't even have to needle him for a Nifty deal. He's talking about it right now. So Nate, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no. So regular price $14.97. Okay, and I think that any astute dentist would be able to go home and make 10 times that back in the first month. Okay, you'd surprise me if you couldn't. All right, so $14.97 regular price until September 13, which is a couple of weeks. We're gonna put out $9.97. But I'm gonna do one even better actually for the Nifty Thrifty people, and we're gonna take 35% off of the already discounted rate. So it's a full day course. I mean, if you can't go home and implement 10, even 20 times, take out 20 times your investment, I would be shocked. And let me say this, what we're going to do is we're really going to take away all risk on this, Glenn. And so I'm going to give 35% off of the already discounted rate. So it takes maybe $650, something like that,
Yeah.
full day with breakfast and lunch included. We have a bonus where we're going to do a big group dinner for some more one-on-one time. That'll be included. You can bring one guest, not another dentist. If you're another dentist, pay up. But if it's your wife or your treatment coordinator or your office manager, bring her or him along at no additional charge.
Wow.
And if you get to the course and you spend the entire day with us, and at the end you come up to me or Tim and you say, you know what, I thought that was terrible. I did not learn a single thing that I can take back to the office on Monday and make work for me. Then we're going to pay for your flight and for your hotel, and we give your money on the course back. So this is
Wait. Hold up, man. Hold up. Okay, first of all, I got to tell you, you're on video now, so everyone's watching.
You heard it. Yeah.
That last part. Okay, so people are going nuts here. Okay, that last part. Say that again. If a dentist goes to this event,
This is
an event that is already discounted with a Nifty Thrifty price, right? And they could bring a team member. You just said you could bring a team member.
Yeah.
If they go to the event and they said, Nate, Tim, man, I didn't get anything out of it. You're going to do what?
This is our titanium guarantee, Glenn. If a dentist comes to this course October 4th, and if they sit there all day and they take notes and pay attention, at the end they come up to me or Tim or us together and they say, look, guys, I didn't learn anything. There's no way that I can go back to the office on Monday and put anything into place, and this was a loss for me. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take that risk away. So your attendance is risk-free. Because if you say that to us, we're going to pay for your flight, we're going to pay for your hotel, and I will give you back your course tuition.
Okay.
All right?
I normally I normally have a lot to say. I'm literally speechless here because there's nothing like that, and no one in dentistry does that. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Except you guys. And you know what? I'm not the only one who's shocked because someone just said that's a great deal. Hell yes, that's a great deal. And someone was like, that's pretty smart. It would be smart for the dentist because Nate just said you're going to go to an event in Las Vegas on Friday, full day at the Palazzo, right? The Palazzo, right? Nice hotel. You're going to learn the things you're going to learn. You're going to implement so many things. Okay. You're going to make 10 times what you paid, right? But you know what? If you come up at the end of the night after you ate a free breakfast, a free lunch, and ate dinner on Nate's dime, and you say, Nate, Tim, I didn't get anything of it from it. Nate just said he will refund the cost of your course, but not just that, he's going to pay for your airfare and hotel.
Yes, sir.
Anything else out? No, that's it. I mean, and you know what? Hold on. Who? I gotta see who put that. Just This person said, and that's how it should be. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's how it is.
What? I'm like speechless here. That's okay. All right. Okay, so let's okay, let's go through it again, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me put this back up. This deserves another mention. Okay, the Nifty Deal. Okay, for this course that's in Las Vegas, it's a full day course. So let's go through it. It's a full day course. It's taught by you and Tim Roush. Okay. Right. It's limited to, you said 30 or 40? 30?
It'd be limited 30, 40. I mean, depending on how we configure the chairs, we could do 30 or 40.
Okay. It's definitely going to be less than, well, Nate, I'm going to have to break it to you, buddy. You might have to, you might be 50. So it might be more. So he's going to limit it to less than 50. Okay. Because, you know, it's about the connection. It's about giving the value. Okay. So it's that small group, 8 to 5, jam-packed. Okay. Breakfast, lunch, and if you want to hang out with them, there's dinner too. Okay, so you can all network there. Mm-hmm. Normal price is how much?
$14.97 from September 13th. So we were doing a little discount, knocking $500 off until September 13th. But I'm going to one up that, and so we added another 35% on top of that, plus our titanium guarantee. Meaning this is risk free for anybody who comes. I mean, worst case scenario, you had a trip to Vegas on me, right? Best case scenario, you go home and you can put some really important pieces into play and double, triple, quadruple your money. I think that's quite realistic, but I stand so firmly behind what it is that we teach that I'm willing to do that for your people.
I love that. I mean, everyone is like, we have someone here that's like, nice, and we got great deal. Well, guys, I mean, yes. I'm literally, like I said, you guys know I always have something to say. I'm literally speechless here. I mean, talk about someone who is very confident, right? So I love that. I love the fact that, because, you know, people are always worried about cost, especially in this group here. Yeah. And I had a dentist today. In fact, I'm going to tell her to go to this. I had a dentist today. It was like, I'm trying a lot of stuff in marketing and I don't know what's going on. Nothing's working. You know, and she's a good dentist. She's got a great personality. But, you know, sometimes, you know, you hear a bunch of noise from a bunch of places and you don't, the thing is that we don't have, as solo practitioners, we're not like DSOs where we have like a lot of money to like burn through. Okay.
That's right.
You make a couple of wrong mistakes, it could really, really hurt you. You know, and here's someone who's saying, you know what, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And if you're not going to get something out of it, then you know what? Hope you have a good time in Vegas.
That's right. You got it.
And we got someone here that says, that's confidence on steroids. Yeah. I mean, I love it. Okay. Well, you know what, Nate? I mean, since you're feeling so generous today, man, I'm going to have to, I mean, you made me speechless, man. I'm like, I don't even know what else to say, but I'm gonna have to come back here, man. All right. What if someone wants to work with you guys? Like, okay, look, we're gonna go to the course, but what if someone wants to work with your marketing company? They're like, okay, I mean, obviously someone who's that confident and who knows what he's doing. Hold on, here we go. Oh, we have a good question. Okay, I'll get to that question. Okay, but I got Nate on the spot here. What if they want to work with you guys and want to use your marketing company? Can we get a Nifty Deal in there?
You know what? The course is really a prerequisite for that.
All right. Oh, so wow. Wait, so you're not going to take people's money and bring them on as a client?
No.
They got to do the course.
You got to do the course, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to be committed to the course. And I mean, I said a little while back that there's no silver bullet out there, right? Yeah. And so much of this, I'm not the only smart marketer out there by any stretch. There are many other people who are better and brighter than me. But for the purposes of what we do, I really only want to work with people who are committed and who understand what we're doing. And that's, you know, that background can really only come from attending the course. And so it hasn't always been that way, but that's really the approach that we're taking now is I want to work with people who understand what we're doing. We can really put things into action, right? So we have the marketing course, we have some sales training, and that's really all kind of mandatory stuff, because without it, I think that um, it's just not fair. And like you said, I don't want people to, I don't want to check from someone who doesn't know what we're doing. I quite sincerely don't. And so we kind of put this into place. The course is going to be a prerequisite. You'll know everything you need to know. And whether you go home and do it yourself, that's cool. And if you want to talk more with us, that's cool too. But the information is the same for everybody.
So, that's spoken like a true doctor, right? Because if he was speaking from a marketing perspective, he'd be like, Glenn, here's a nifty deal. Come on, people, come on in, come on into the marketing thing here. But you actually, you want to work with people who really want to be successful. You don't want someone to sign up and they don't follow through and they don't get anything out of it. Because you know what? At the end of the day, if they get it out of it, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help them. They'll be complaining like, I work with Nate, I didn't get anything out of it. And in reality, they didn't have a shift in mindset. In reality, they didn't have the other tools.
Right. That's
wow.
Exactly it. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, since I'm out of things to say because I'm shocked at what you just offered, we do have a question from the audience and bring this in.
Man, bring it. Yeah.
So this doctor's asking, well, Glenn was talking about how there's a lot of noise out there. People saying, hey, you should do this, you should do that. Could you give us an example, like maybe one example of what I'm going to learn at your course?
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to answer this in two parts. Okay. The first is that dentists have a tendency toward perfectionism. Okay. And where we keep on taking more and more clinical CE, learning to do technical procedures better and better and better, but never really solving the fundamental issue of how you're going to get people in the door. And so that's what this course is about, right? There's nothing clinical about this at all, right? There's no talk about teeth and bones or anything even remotely like that. This is strictly limited to discussion, an in-depth discussion of marketing and of sales. Okay. And as far as all the noise that's out there, I agree. It's very, very confusing. And I find it difficult too, to sometimes shut out some of the noise. And I mean, it's easy to get distracted. And so, as I said, we've taken the past 6 or 7 years, worked with multiple mentors in different industries, and in different cities, frankly, requiring travel and a great deal of time. We've made mistakes spending our own money on marketing companies and on initiatives that weren't right, or perhaps we even didn't fully understand at the time. Much earlier in my career, I didn't. So out of necessity, really gone and undertaken an informal PhD in this stuff, and now really feel very confident to be able to teach this to others. And we do teach it to others, across North America, last year in Australia too. And it's just a really cool thing to be able to share and to help people navigate through a lot of the options that are out there. And I agree, it's very confusing. And so this is why we take a 9-hour day. We'll probably even work through lunch, but it's a full day. It's a full day on stuff, and that'll give somebody a really, really good head start if they're looking at opening a new practice. This is going to be eye-opening. If they've been in practice for 10 or 15 years but can't quite get over, get out of the plateau, this is going to be really eye-opening as well. At a minimum, you're going to see what some fairly successful dentists are doing on a day-to-day basis in order to stock their schedule with people who want what they're selling. Yeah. And that's really, really key, I believe, to practicing the way that you want to.
I love it. And we have a compliment from a viewer, and she says, passion, personality trumps perfection. That's pretty good. 3 P's there. But the 3 P's, not the 3 bad P's there. Wow, I love that. Man, Nate, I will have to say I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with that Nifty deal. That's probably one of the niftiest, thriftiest deals ever. And at the end of the day, he practices what he preaches, right? I mean, he could have easily just come on here and say, hey, guys, a Nifty deal for my marketing is X amount. Let's sign up right now. Here's the promo code. Let's sign up right now. But Nate just pumped the brakes on that just now and said, look, I just like how in my practice, I do marketing to attract a certain type of patient. I want to work with a certain type of doctor. And you have to ask yourselves, guys, are you that type of doctor? So he gave a literally no risk opportunity, right? 0 risk. If anything, we get a Vegas strip on him. That's good in my book, you know. So let's do it. Before we jump off, let me go over it one more time. So the event is in Las Vegas at the Palazzo. It is October. What's the date again?
October 4th.
October 4th, and
Friday.
it is a jam-packed day.
Jam-packed.
Dr. Nate Jeal, Dr. Tim Roush are teaching like this whole sales cycle and marketing, and it's just a bunch of things all thrown in together. It's 8 to 5. It's going to be a small class, small group, possibly 40, definitely less than 50. And the normal price, as you said, $14.97.
Yeah.
$14.97 is the normal price.
And it goes back there September 13th. So, yeah.
Then he's going to discount it, and he's going to give the nifty thrifty price, which drops it down to how much?
We're taking 35%, an additional 35% off of the already $500 discounted price.
Wow.
So, and again, I mean, don't quote me down to the penny, but somewhere in the range of $650. So $997 minus 35%. Yeah.
Around $700, a little bit less here.
Yeah.
But that's, first of all, that's a great deal, right, for this course, right, for a small group there in Las Vegas, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? But what really caused my jaw to drop is, Nate, I'll let you talk about that, the titanium deal.
The titanium guarantee. Well, you know what? Let me say this. We stand behind what we teach. We practice what we preach as well. This is what I do day to day. And I'm so confident in the quality of our material. And I'm so confident that attendees are going to leave with a number of things that they can put into place in their own offices, that I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. And we'll say, look, you come to the course, if you don't like it, if you think there's nothing that you can take home, keep the breakfast, keep the lunch, keep your notebook, because we have a binder of materials. We got 100 plus pages in a binder you're going to take home. Keep the binder too. And if you say there's nothing to be had, okay, you didn't like it and there's no value, and you couldn't say a good word about it, then you come talk to me and we'll take care of you. Okay.
Wow. I love it. That's a nifty deal. Man, that's like a mic drop right there. I don't think you should say anything else, but I want to, Nate, if there's anything else you want to add to that, I'm going to give you the last word. I don't know that was like mic drop right there, but for those who are still watching here, Nate, any kind of last comments or words about just marketing in general and just being a dentist in this time where there's so many challenges, man. People coming out of a lot of debt, more competition, corporate dentistry is everywhere. What's your kind of little word of advice to all of them who's watching right now?
Yeah, you know what? Well, dentistry is a challenging profession. We all know that, right? You got a long list of responsibilities in the office. You got these old stats saying that more dentists commit suicide than other professionals. You got dentists who are embezzled by their staff. You have the ongoing influx of big Wall Street money and big insurance companies who are pushing solo practice owners down into a corner, making it hard to operate and to grow. And so the way that you get beyond all of that and really insulate yourself from some of these negative pressures is to find a way to stand out in your marketplace, okay? And offering the next $69 deal or free whining for life when there's 20 other dentists in a 5-mile radius who are doing the same thing, you're not going to stand out that way. Okay? Yeah. And what we've got is a playbook that we're willing to share that is going to teach good dentists out there how to stand out from the crowd a little bit.
I love it. Nate, thank you so much for jumping on, man. I appreciate it.
Man. Yeah.
And guys, thank you for watching. I will post the details of this event in the comments section. We'll make a post tomorrow. It's an amazing one. And if you guys are just now watching, you're going to have to go back to the replay because you just missed out on some really good stuff. So again, thanks for watching. Nate, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Glenn. That was a real fun time. It's a pleasure. Thank you.